And here again, the angel of the Lord, the messenger of the Lord, the one who speaks as the Lord, shows up, and he says to this frustrated, fearful Israelite, "The Lord is with you, you mighty man of valor." And I don't think Gideon felt much like a mighty man of valor at that moment. I wonder if the words of the angel of the Lord did not sound to Gideon as mocking words, as he's in this pitiful situation. Gideon frustrated with the futility of his work, not accomplishing anything. Have you ever been there? Oh, my Lord, if the Lord is with us, why then has this happened to us? Where are all his miracles? The Lord has forsaken us. Have you ever felt like Gideon, where it seems God is distant and powerless? And yet, at this very moment, as Gideon is threshing wheat in a winepress, the Lord was sitting a short way away. An important reminder to us today. Point number 3, if you're taking notes. God is often closer than we realize and ready to hear and respond. Now, he doesn't always respond in the way we might expect. Verse 14, then the Lord turned to Gideon and said, "Go in this might of yours, and you shall save Israel from the hand of the Midianites. Have I not sent you?" God says, "You, Gideon, are a mighty man of valor, and I am with you, and I am calling and I am sending you to go and deliver your people from the hand of the Midianites." How would you respond in that situation? Well, maybe like Gideon. Verse 15. So he said to him, "Oh, my Lord, how can I save Israel? Indeed, my clan is the weakest in Manasseh, and I am the least in my father's house." How did Gideon respond? Probably like you would. God, you got the wrong guy. I know I've certainly thought that before. When I had a sense that the Lord was setting an open door before me, I had a sense that God was directing my steps in a certain direction, and in my mind I thought, you have got the wrong guy. He says to the Lord, I'm from this nothing of a tribe. I am the least in my father's house, which, maybe he was. But God, his choosing is not like our choosing. As I shared just a couple of weeks ago, the Lord chooses the foolish, the weak, the base, the despised, to accomplish his mighty acts. Why? Well, when Paul wrote that in 1 Corinthians, he said, so that no flesh will glory in his presence. So ultimately, God gets the greatest glory. You see, God chooses as he chooses because through us, the weak, the base, the foolish, the despised, he gets great glory when he accomplishes great feats. He wants to glorify himself in you. What does that mean? It means he wants to show himself mighty in your life so that people go, that wasn't really from them, was it? And then you say, no, it had nothing to do with me. It had everything to do with the Lord. And that's what's going to happen in the story of Gideon. And we're not going to get through all of it today because it's several chapters. So we'll get to it as we go. But that's what we're going to see in this passage. God chooses this guy who's threshing wheat in a winepress, probably frustrated and angry because God wanted to receive the greatest glory through his life. Gideon did not see himself as having what it took. He did not believe that he was the right man for the job. And you might not think that you are the right person for whatever task it is that the Lord is setting before you. You might not believe that you are that kind of person who could do that because you see yourself as weak as well. But look at God's response. Verse 16, and the Lord said to Gideon, surely I will be with you, and you shall defeat the Midianites as one man. Gideon was a hesitant and reluctant leader. Maybe you can identify with that. And he was in good company because Moses was a hesitant and reluctant leader. And Joshua was a hesitant and reluctant leader. And if you were with us last week and the week before, Barak was a hesitant and reluctant leader. And when you get to the prophet Jeremiah, Jeremiah was a hesitant and reluctant leader. And in the New Testament, we're introduced to Timothy, who was a fearful and hesitant and reluctant leader, whom God called. And God calls to hesitant and reluctant individuals, and he says, surely I will be with you. And that's the key. That's the key. When we see the task or the trouble in front of us in light of our own abilities or strengths or strategy or whatever it is that we have, we seem as grasshoppers. We seem as though we are very small and we will be destroyed and consumed in this. By our own strength, by our own strategy, by our own capacity, we are nothing. And the New Testament says, apart from him, we can do nothing. But I can do all things through him who gives me strength. Surely the Lord said, I will be with you. You are a mighty man of valor. That's how God viewed Gideon. He did not see himself like that. But God says, you are a mighty man of valor. And when did he say it? When he was in this pitiful condition with, wheat husks stuck to his sweaty face, threshing wheat in a wine press. God says, you're a mighty man of valor. It encourages me because I think that God sees the end and not the beginning. He sees what he can do by his strength and his power in the life of an individual that is yielded to him.